Hey everybody, before we start this show, let me tell you about a great service called Blue Apron. I'm sure you heard of it before, but maybe you're on the fence about trying it. What is Blue Apron? It's the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the entire country. Basically what it is, they work with the most fresh food across 150 local farms. Good one, jerk. Local farms, fisheries, and ranchers across the U.S. As a result, their beef, their chicken, their pork, their seafood comes from responsibly raised animals. And their seafood comes from a partnership with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. Why did I pick the most difficult part of the read to say? I have no idea, but they have great food. I get it once a week. The upcoming menus. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm messing this up. Salmon piccata with orzo broccoli. Pork chops with miso, butter, and bok choy, got that one right, and marinated apple. Stuff you never thought you'd eat. It's fresh. Under 40 minutes or less, you can prepare these dishes. Less than $10 per meal. You know what you need to do? Check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. Go to blueapron.com/conversations with an S. You will love how good it feels, how it tastes. Create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. Please don't wait. blueapron.com/conversations. Enjoy the show.
The following advertisement has been paid for by the Big Guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, Big Guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big Guy, that is music to my ears. Do you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the Big Guy all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big Guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark. It is. Feed Me More Nutrition, premium quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com. But wait, there's more. Just for being a listener of Conversation with the Big Guy, you can now save 10%. That's right, save 10% at feedmemore.com on all Feed Me More merchandise and apparel and Feed Me More Nutrition with discount code PODCAST10. PODCAST10. Podcast 10. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, and right now, I'd like to introduce...
Whoa. A guy who lost his smile. A guy who took his brand and walked away from millions of dollars. He hails from Sin City.
Damn it! That's enough for you two! Shut up! You're
I think he said we're fired.
Shut up! Pat, slap my ass! It's time for Conversation with the Big Guy, pal!
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
And we're happy to be back on another action-packed podcast for this week. But before we begin, I think you may have a couple things you want to mention.
Let's stick to the format. It's never done us wrong. Feed Me More Nutrition, guys, is now available at feedmemore.com, along with I'llPumpYouUp.com. And if you live in the Las Vegas area, I'll Pump You Up Fitness Nutrition on Sahara and Rainbow, and Spartan Nutrition in North Las Vegas. Wake up, it's feeding time. The motivational book by the Big Guy is available now on Amazon in Kindle and paperback format, coming soon to Audible. Northeast Wrestling, WrestleFest 21. Kurt Angle versus Cody in a steel cage match. We got the Great Khali, Jerry the King Lawler, and the Big Guy Ryback will be performing. That is going to be Friday, March 3rd, 5 p.m. signing, 8 p.m. bell time. Who am I wrestling on that? Do you know?
On which one?
the Northeast Wrestling WrestleFest. Clearly, you don't listen to anything I say on this.
No, I was more concerned about not making noise with my
Totally zoned out while the big guy's doing his plug.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I notice that. Sometimes like you make jokes and I'm focused on the computer and I don't laugh at them because they don't register.
It's like when I'm telling you about my like gym routine on Voxer, you've just gotten used to just drone, just zoning out when the big guy talks.
You're a 2-speed, sometimes 3-speed, but sometimes not. But yeah, if you get Voxer, it gets addicting. And you get some people are a 4-speed, but no, I listen to all of them. But I don't know your wrestling. I'm a fucking horrible agent. And
I've never seen. They just have me on the poster. I like to know who my opponent is. I like to watch matches the week leading up.
Yeah,
and like do a little bit of homework. And I was like, it's gonna be it'll be another big guy. That's like the go-to. Like he'll be the local territory big guy, and he'll be fine. But
I'll ask him. I'll drop old Mike a text.
Yeah, just see who the big guy's working. We've interrupted the plugs for the first time ever. I feel like, but
what else you got?
Moving on, we have the big event, March 4th in Queens, New York at the LaGuardia Plaza Hotel from 10 to 3 p.m. I will be there in person doing a meet and greet, pictures, autographs, the whole shebang. And that is it for me this week.
Okay, on my end, March 11th, WrestlePro returns to the Rahway Rec Center, Rahway, New Jersey. Bruce Pritchard will be in the house, Joey Ryan, The Hit Squad, Tommy Dreamer, Homicide, myself, and much, much more. Tickets available. Front row sold out. Second row is getting there. WrestleProOnline.com. The biggest show of my goddamn life. WrestleCon, WrestlePro. Thursday night, 8:30. If you're going to WrestleMania, get your tickets. A couple people have been tweeting about that, and I really appreciate that. If you want to see Ryback versus Colt Cabana, Cody Rhodes versus Brian Cage, Hit Squad versus The Bodies, Joey Ryan versus Brandy Rhodes, BWO, Grado, Swoggle, Sanjay Dutt, and so much more. WrestleCon.com. That's all my stuff, but we had some feedback from last week.
I think too, and also I'll stick to the format of me forgetting every week to do my P.O. box and my plugs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All fan mail guys, send to P.O. Box 752740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. That is again P.O. Box 752740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. I get back to all fan mail guys. Just please have a self-addressed envelope with everything so I can get it back to you, and I will eventually get it back to you.
You know what? I'm going to add one more to that because you know what gets really depressing? I go to the Creative Pro Wrestling School in New York, and there's always emails from fans, not emails, actual letters to Kurt Hawkins, and there's never been one for Pat Buck. Like there's always envelopes all the time. They find at the school, and they send probably the same thing, like what they do for your P.O. box. So if you
just got to give them an open invitation, Buck. It's that simple.
Creative Pro Wrestling. My not-so P.O. box where my school is 95 Engineers Drive, Hicksville, New York, 11801. I think that's it. And if you want to be a wrestler, you can sign up there too. We had a couple new students come out, and my Monday through Thursday job is training the up-and-comers as recommended by Dr. Tom this week. I thank him for the big shout-out on the old Twitter.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard from Dr. Tom in a while. I didn't know. I haven't talked to him since I've left WWE, and we used to message all the time. I got to shoot him a message here. I was thinking today, this actually, with driving, I was thinking, because I'm always thinking of things with the branding, with the Feed Me More. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because you have the wrestling school out there, and Seth Rollins has his wrestling school.
That's right.
The Black and Brave, right? Which they've actually, I think, contacted us for a show, right?
You will be there in August. Yep. That's true.
And
see, I remember that one. But
yeah. But I was trying to think. I was like, man, and obviously with everything I got going on right now, I couldn't. Just time wise, it wouldn't be the most ideal situation. But I was thinking of Feed Me More Feed Me More Wrestling, and I was like, would you ever change your school to Feed Me More Wrestling, or is Creative Pro your baby? Because that got me thinking today, and I was like, I'm going to put them on the spot tonight. And I was like, if we were to come to an agreement and it would get us more people at the school where it would still be your baby, but we would essentially use me for the appearance from time to time, how that would that ever be a possibility, or do I got to start this up from scratch?
Well, where is this happening? This a Vegas gig or a New York gig?
No, I'm saying we turned Creative Pro into Feed Me More Wrestling. I was like, because I wonder if that would get more people or less people, actually, depending on who fucking, if they're fucking marks or not. But yeah, I don't know. I was driving literally in my driveway, and I stopped and I thought about that today. And I was just trying. I was like, I wonder if Buck would rename his school. And I personally thought you wouldn't do it.
No, I can't do that. I've put so much into the brands. I would open Feed Me More Wrestling in Vegas. I'd happily go out there, and I don't know how the fuck I'd fit that in my schedule, but
that's what I would need. That's where I would want it ideally, is in Las Vegas. But I was like, you got to have the right trainer, and you can't do that. No, and like I have to be around enough to oversee things and hold a power bomb seminar from time to time, just
every other day.
Every other day. Keep your promos under 15 seconds, power bombs. But yeah, no, it just crossed my mind. But it seems like I feel like wrestling schools, though, you do well, I feel like, with it, for what you've started with and everything. But I was like, they're not necessarily, there's a lot of them that don't do well.
Yeah.
But it's, that maybe down the line.
I mean, I think people just don't put a lot into. There's a lot of schools that people go, oh, you need to go there, a Hall of Famer. I've said it before. I have no problem saying it. They're the number one wrestling school in New York as far as like attendance and members is Johnny Rod's school. He's a Hall of Famer. It's in Brooklyn, New York. And
came from there.
Yeah, and it was a different time.
Dudley,
back in the day there was good. Now it's a shit show, and I've seen videos from there, and people just don't fucking care. And there's been guys there that have been there for 20 fucking years that have never worked anywhere outside of that place. And I hear from everybody. I see the videos, and it sucks because the number one way of advertising is a kid's going to go, let me put Google like a pro wrestling school in New York, and he's number one. So they see all these famous names, they go there. I'm not saying they get ripped off, but maybe I am saying that it's kind of shitty that there's a lot of bad training schools out there, and there's a lot of good ones too. But yeah, people got to do. I tell anyone that comes to my school, go look at the other ones, and you'll be back here. But
I would definitely I could tell by just how you run your classes and you put them up on, you put your things up on Facebook, and you show, you have little demonstrations and whatnot of what goes on. And like, it's, and that was directly from what was going on in OVW with Rip Rogers and, whom trained a lot of the top WWE talent that the mainstays up there. And, but not to say that other training places aren't good, because I'm sure, like you said, there are a lot of good ones. But
sure,
I really, if I was coming up and had an opportunity to go to wrestling school before I was ever signed by WWE, I would want to go to a school like yours. I feel like, because that would give you teach them exactly what you need to be taught, and the fundamentals, and like where you teach guys like not just characters and whatnot, but how to work, which ultimately is the key to longevity in the wrestling business. So
and the conditioning stuff too. And I'll also teach guys that everyone has like and this is from Dr. Tom. He'd always say that everyone has a different flavor of ice cream they like. But what really sucks is that,
what is your favorite flavor of ice cream, by the way?
I think I'm a cookies and cream guy. What about you?
Mint chocolate chip, but I like cookies and cream and Rocky Road also.
That's pretty good.
Keep random.
No, I'm a big fan of. Do you have the Arctic Zero? You ever had that before?
No,
what's
like that?
It's very high protein, basically no fat. There is carbs in it, but it's like a healthier form of ice cream. It's really good. I recommend it.
I feel like there's aspartame and sucralose in that.
No, there isn't, because there's a little bit of sugar. Yeah, it's sugar. There's like a very maybe less than 4 grams of sugar per.
That's not bad.
Quarter of a regular cup. So yeah,
if you have one serving, you're okay. But if you're like me, you get like the biggest bowl you have, and you're like, whoa. you leave one scoop left in the fucking little tub, and like you're like, oh.
What the hell was I going to say?
Oh, so Dr. Tom, you were talking about.
Because like a lot of wrestling school, and this is what gets annoying, and it gets annoying to anyone in wrestling, is that there's more than one way to do something. For example, hitting the ropes comes to mind.
Yeah.
Some people prefer.
Oh man.
I remember in developmental.
Yep, that's what I was going to talk about.
Sure, like Al, there'd be time periods where they would say when you hit the ropes, you got to lead with your left foot. That was like an old timer, or a lot of guys like that, because you tackle off your left foot, you can take bumps off your left foot, like an arm drag, things like that.
You can step with you're ready to step into your next move right off the ropes, essentially.
Yeah. And I prefer it that way. However,
I agree with that.
There's times where Lance Storm would be training guys, and he would be like, no, you got to lead with the right foot. Other guys would be like, you have to be the right foot. Dr. Death came down, lead with the right foot. Now, and I'm hearing in NXT, they actually prefer if you do both feet, like kind of like both feet hit the rope, like they don't
Neutral?
Yeah, like a neutral kind of thing. Like you don't got to
Just
lead.
play, just kind of like everything in WWE, they just play it safe. Just
50% hit the ropes.
Just guys, let's not offend anyone with just fucking hit the ropes with neutral feet, okay? That way, when we bring anybody down, they're not fucking. They can't get mad at the left or at the fucking right. We're in the middle. We're fucking we're politically correct on all angles on this.
Oh my god, it's so true.
That's
So
I feel like that's exactly. Matt Bloom came out of the office like, guys, we got to do something about the rope thing. Fucking Ricky Morton's going into the Hall of Fame this year. He came down. He was fucking hot. A lot of the guys were going left foot. Robert Gibson's looking at him, fucking thinking everyone should be going to the right. Fuck, it's just it's good for them.
But what I tell guys, like, look, I prefer if you do the left, but I don't give a shit. Just hit the ropes as hard as you can, and make it look decent, and still take the bumps as good as you can, and here's how. But I go, at some point in your career, somebody's going to, in a power position or some sort of position above you, is going to tell you that you're fucking wrong and make you feel stupid. So be prepared for that in case you, whatever style you pick. And that, I think that's the case with like anything, you know.
I've always said in fake fighting, is there really a right and a wrong? Like,
no.
Because in a real fight, there's really not a right and a wrong. There's just you win or you lose. And like, everyone has their own technique. You look at a baseball player, some guys like to throw a certain way, some guys like to go a little lower. Like, you know, there's no right or wrong. Like you said, everyone just has their own, you know, personal flavor of things and whatnot. And, you know, there's many different ways to the final destination. And intensity is the key to everything. So
yeah,
just make it look good.
I told my guys that across the board, I think the one thing that never goes out of style is aggression and intensity. Like that will never be, you know, something that goes away. That's just very important.
When you could convince people that what you're doing isn't hokey and fake, you're doing a good job. It's like when you're watching a movie, you don't want to be reminded you're watching a movie by like seeing like the boomsticks like coming down and like think about it. That's like that's what the equivalent of wrestling is when you do something really shitty. Is like seeing the boomstick or like seeing like the powder guy fucking in the shot or whatever. So that's what I think, anyways.
There was one movie I saw, I forget what it was, but it was kind of like a Braveheart, but it wasn't Braveheart. And all the warriors in the movie, they wore watches, like they did it on purpose to fuck the movie up. Like they're in the background, like with sword. They're like in ancient times, but they're all wearing wristwatches. So like, it
didn't know that
movie. Yeah. It wasn't Braveheart or some other movie. I forget the name of it. But we had feedback from last week, mainly about back to what did the dirt sheets pick up.
I was going to tell you because I don't like to interrupt our stories sometimes, which I'm doing right now. But before you get into it,
sure.
You mentioned Dr. Death, and I didn't want to interrupt you as you were talking right there. But
no, go for it.
I remember it. I talk about it in my book actually. When he came down to OVW, remember he came down, he had the hole in his throat from throat cancer. And that was during a period, and there's a lot of wrestlers chew tobacco. And it is a very, I had my time with it off and on from when I was 25 all the way up until probably 33.
And you don't get do you get cravings anymore or no?
No, gone completely. But I'd stopped multiple times for I stopped up to, I think a year and a half was the longest I went. And then I'd return her a year in like 3 months or something and then hop back on it. But I stopped multiple times. But I started in developmental because you get bored and you look around and you see other guys doing it and you think, oh, that can't be so bad. And you see I remember you would see you'd go up to WWE and see, you know, Shawn Michaels would have a dip in or like just all and it's very, you're like, oh, he's one of the greatest of all time. Probably why he's so great. And you make up some bullshit reason in your head why you should do it.
That's what Trent. I think Trent told me that exact story. He saw Shawn. He started doing dip. He met Shawn. He's like, "This is the coolest thing ever. I'm going to start chewing dip."
Yeah, and it's that's what I'm telling you. It's a fucking stupid wrestler mindset. Oh, I'm going to start doing something really, really bad for me that could really, really fuck up my life. And I just saw other developmental guys doing it, but Dr. Death came down and he saw that in my mouth one day. And I was already in my head, like, trying to stop because it made me feel so shitty. I would get so tired on it and just, like, have no ambition and no drive. And he had the hole in his throat, and it was just a wake-up call. And he goes, knock that shit off. He goes, do you want to end up like me? And, like, he, like, showed me the hole. And, like, it was I remember that I didn't do it when he was around that week, but I would still do it at home. But I stopped for, like, another, like, 3 or 4 months during that period. But that reminded me of that, just how, and I talk about it in the book, just how bad chewing tobacco truly is for you. And it's one of the most addictive thing I've ever done my entire life. And I've been able to quit it cold turkey and multiple times, but I've been off it now I think we're going on close to 2 years now. So I'm glad, not quite 2 years, but we're getting there. So if you guys do that shit, knock it off. It's so bad for you. You'll feel a million times better without it. And after a few weeks, you won't miss it. So,
speaking of Dr. Death, I'm actually glad you brought him up because I don't know when we'll talk about him again. But I really liked him when he came down. I liked him because he bullied a lot of the guys, but he was really, really good to me. I think because he knew.
Yeah, me too. He was fair. I felt like if you worked hard and he liked you.
Yeah, and because he knew I was trying to get a job, and he pulled me aside one day. He's like, "You remind me of me," because he said, "You remind me of a guy on my football team that was a walk-on player." He's like, "Just stick with it. You'll be in here in no time."
Rudy
wasn't correct. Yeah, Rudy.
Rudy.
You'll get that one tackle. You sad man.
I was really hoping he played with Rudy. That would have made it fun. I have that poster hanging up in my bathroom upstairs.
Rudy?
Yeah, I love. I such a motivation. I love motivation, man.
Sure.
I just think it's fuck.
He had one other piece of advice that was kind of funny. He pulled me aside after TV one day, after OVW TV. He goes, and he had the thing in his throat, and he'd always have to put the fingers over to talk. And
Yeah.
he's like, you need to stop doing that self-tanner bullshit. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, just find a local tanning salon. I pay $8 a month. You'll burn. And that was the advice.
I feel like, the spray tanning is better for you technically, isn't it? Or they found like there's some chemicals in the spray tan?
No, I think it's healthy, but it's just like one big thing is that if you don't have, I've learned over the years, because I'm so pale, I need a base before I spray tan, or else it's pure orange. But if I have a red tint and I put it on, I'm okay. But some guys,
I would love if that was just your deal. Just never tan and just do a really shitty coat of spray tan before every big match.
It's a great idea. I mean, look at our president. It's very spray tanned all the time. I think it's in style. What was the other thing? Oh, Dr. Death, one other time. A certain wrestler, I don't know if I want to call him out, was like brown nosing. Because there was, in OVW, at one point, Al needed an assistant trainer. And it was down to, they were auditioning guys to see who they were going to hire.
Who was that coming down to? I had no clue about that.
Were you there, or were you gone already? I don't remember.
I might have been gone. I might have been released at that point.
So Dr. Death would come down often. Robert
yeah,
Gibbs,
I was. Yeah, because that was the period I got released. It was right around that. Yeah.
Robert Gibson came down a lot, and then it was, I forget who the third guy was. Tim Horner came down, but that didn't really last at all.
They sent a lot of people down at different points just to.
Oh, sure.
It was, and they probably got a nice check and came in and but it was in for a few days. We did our normal classes and I remember Tim Horner was doing promos with us one day, and somebody said Tim Horner was never a promo guy.
Yeah.
But they brought him down to work on promos.
It's so weird.
It was a different period.
Do you remember Greg? Do you remember Greg Valentine coming down?
No, I don't think I was there for that.
Greg Valentine came down, and he was okay. He was just hanging out. And then, so they were
Bob Backlund speaks very highly of him in his book.
Oh, really?
As being a good worker, yeah.
He was supposed to write reports for The Office, and he would watch all of us work, and they'd be like, "Okay, Greg, Al would be like, Greg, what do you think of the match?" He'd be like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And the next guy, he'd be like, "Oh, you're pretty good." And then we looked at his report, and all it said was, "They're pretty good," and that's what he sent to The Office.
It's you just got to you got to know his format. Now we could only get the thoughts in between, but that seemed, at least he's positive.
Straight shooter. So Dr. Death, and I think he was upset because Robert Gibson got the job. And but I remember before he left, there was people that thought Dr. Death was going to be the assistant trainer to Al,
Yeah.
and a certain somebody goes up to Dr. Death and goes, "I just want to ask your permission. You're one of my idols." And I'm listening to this conversation, going, "Ugh, this is brutal." He's like, "I really want to do the Oklahoma Stampede as a finish. Dr. Death's old move, the Davy Boy kind of power slam."
Yeah.
And Dr. Death's like, "Oh, yeah, great. You can do that. That'd be awesome." The guy's like, "Thank you so much." And shakes his hand, and Death is smiling, and the guy walks away, and then Death looks at me and goes, "What a fucking ass kisser." Like just completely calls him out on it. It was fucking awesome.
That's great.
But,
There's guys like that. That's what they think they have to do, though. Like, that exists at every level. I mean, it's just rather than let things just happen. You never know. Like maybe the guy was being 100% honest. You never know. But
yeah.
I mean, more times than not.
Oh, so what I got here too, not to lead on to the next thing, the review of the week. We've been doing that lately. We've had some great reviews.
I sent out last week's winner. That stuff went out today, actually. So
Let me pull up. Sorry, I should have had this prepared.
thank you guys for sending those in. We've gotten a lot of great reviews and a lot of participants, and it's really helping us greatly. The podcast, we're growing each and every week, and you guys are a big part of that. And my goal this year is for us to consistently have over 100,000 listeners per week. And we are well on our way. We are not that far off. So thank you guys. And continue to like and subscribe and to share the podcast. And let's continue to raise awareness for this. And this is the most fun I have all week. And it's a great way to keep my voice out there and to let everybody know what's going on. I get fan mail every week. And like you're going to start getting it. You'll see when you get these letters from people and you see the direct positive influence it's having on their lives of just sharing and having a conversation on the air. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. So here's 2 reviews that I liked, and you can pick the winner. So the first one says, "Big Guy Birthday Parties" from Sab Troy. "Hey guys, I love the show. Only concern that is if Ryback starts his own birthday party business, will El Pollo Loco be replacing the half slices of pizza given to the kids at the end of the party? If so, you better hope the kids don't shell-shock their underwear before getting into the ring for that picture. In all seriousness, I really enjoy the show from both an entertainment and comedic standpoint, as well as wrestling and advice standpoint as well. As a guy trying to make it in the business, I love both your insights into the business and really enjoy the show. Keep up the good work." So that was one of them.
Very good.
And the other one was, that was last week. "Wake Up, It's Story Time" by XKevKelX. I've been listening to Conversation with the Big Guy every week since episode 1, and I've got to say that after listening, I'm a total mark for life for the Big Guy. That said, when I heard the Ryborg was putting out a supplement line, I was floored. My girlfriend has been stressing really hard about her upcoming tests at school, so I bought her the Big Guy test booster, and I slipped some of that in her morning coffee. Unfortunately, I didn't know that test was short for testosterone. She did pass her tests. Which I can only contribute to the supplements, but now she's 6'3", 280 pounds of pure muscle, covered in body hair, and has sprouted a fully functional dick and balls. Thanks for ruining my relationship, Big Guy. Hopefully I can win some free product so I can stop using all this expired IcoPro I've been laying around. By Kirby Gooby on Twitter. And he also said, "I'm mentioning Bret Hart to up my chances of winning." I think we have a dead set winner this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and he really put a lot of effort into that. So that's let's go ahead and I think somebody mentioned last week too. And this week the guy confirmed it on Twitter for me. Should we have them take a screenshot of their review?
Yeah, this guy was smart enough to put his Twitter in here, Kirby Kubi on Twitter. Great review. Thank you for that rating. And just be creative. Some of you guys are dirty motherfuckers, and you wrote some crazy reviews that even I don't want to read. But
let's go ahead just for shits and giggles.
Well, here's the thing. I would go through them, but they're on my phone. We would have to end this conversation.
Oh, okay.
So maybe next week I'll get the really bad, almost racial ones. And
whatever.
Someone like, holy shit.
Well, I
I can't
mean,
read this.
we're not censored other than the other week when I overly censored us. But I think it'd be fun to read a couple of those on air. See what the people have to say. So, supplement of your choice this week in a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle. Message me on Twitter, Kirby, or send an email to the big guy at feedmemore.com, and we will get you hooked up and with some Feed Me More Nutrition.
And I feel bad because I'm not really giving anything, but if you're a person in New York, New Jersey area, you want to come to a WrestlePro show, I'll proudly give you some free tickets of some sort, but not first row. Second row and general admission only. No, I'll figure it out.
Inquiries on the birthday parties with the big guy?
No. Unfortunately, we have not. There is a birthday party happening tomorrow at Create a Pro. But
really?
I won't. Actually, no. Sorry, Saturday. Have my days mixed up. So
Has Bob ever gone to a birthday party, or is he banned on those days?
It's funny. I've never told you this before. We had a birthday party for Bob. Oh, God. Fuck.
Oh, wow. Okay. First of all, I legitimately was just trying to be funny and just thinking,
I know you were. This wasn't a setup.
No. And, I can't even be shocked right now. It never fucking surprises me. The depth of his character is like a bottomless pit.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we talked about a guy named The Wizard. And he caught wind because as much his top two obsessions
catches wind a lot.
Yeah, are me and for a while he had a big crush on and he still does on Hawkins. And so when Hawkins, before he went back to WWE, I'll say this quick story. We had a show for Beyond Wrestling, or a taping at our school, which is a popular independent promotion, and we wrestled these two indie guys that are well known. You might know. Do you remember Bill Carr at all?
Yeah, very nice guy.
And he does a buddy cop tag team with this guy named Dan Barry. They're both the very over in the independent scene.
Yep.
So I thought it'd be funny, Brian, we're wrestling them. Let's dress as Nails. So we got I got us two orange jumpsuits, just like Nails, because we're wrestling this buddy cop. They're called Team Tremendous. They do a complete fucking cop routine.
Yeah.
So
they're not like the sexy cops on SmackDown, are they? With Fandango and Tyler Breeze Dango. One of my favorite gimmick going on right now, by the way.
They're not sexy cops. But they're definitely But it's pretty fucking awesome. So we wrestle them, and then after, me and Brian just hey, let's take a quick picture. And I think I might have made it my profile picture for a week or two, but then Bob saw this picture. And he nicknamed us the Orange Psycho Twins, because he had to take it to another level, role play in his head that this is his fantasy.
Yeah,
and he would message me and Brian nonstop about how he wants full Nelsons from the Orange Psycho Twins. Needless to say, as time went on,
I don't know how I in my head have beaten the shit out of this guy so many times through the stories already. I am amazed. Just keep going. Sorry. It just I feel like when I meet him, I'm gonna want to punch him. I do not respect anything about him. But keep going.
And you shouldn't. So, is Kevin's idea. He goes, Bob wants to have his birthday party at Create a Pro.
Of course.
Now we charge a reasonable rate for this. And we charge them the same rate we charge a kid's birthday party. However, Bob, being the fancy diva that he is, spent an additional $900 to buy catered food for everybody. And he wanted a wrestling show, but it really turned into, this is how me and Hawkins are going to do it. So we had a regular Create a Pro normal show. It was on a Sunday. All the fans left, and the whole crew stayed around because we're going to have the Wizard's birthday party.
Yeah, of course.
The Wizard's in really bad shape, and I'll send you the picture of, you've probably seen it before, where we took a picture of the wives of Create a Pro, and it's my wife, it's Hawkins' wife, and it's Bob.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember that.
Now, he's in really bad shape at the time, and he's all tired and weak, but his one thing that he wanted on the show was the Orange Psycho Twins. So, like, even though we're having the birthday party there, his dream was to meet the Orange Psycho Twins to put him in a full Nelson. So the whole thing is we're just eating. I know it's really, really fucking weird. So all of our students are there. We have all of our normal Creator Pro people there. At one point, Kevin Matthews grabs him, and Raleigh, who I think you've met before, they pick up Bob and they throw him into the fucking ring.
Oh, jeez.
So we think that Bob will stand up and just kind of play along with it. Instead, he's laying on the mat, and he's too weak to stand up, and he's just shaking. And Kevin and Raleigh are like, "All right, we're gonna beat you up now because this is what he likes." And everyone's cheering for it. Everyone's egging it on, going like, chanting.
He got nervous. Nerves got the better of him.
He turns into like the WB Frog. Like when people pay attention to him, he shuts down.
Yeah.
So the big thing was Kevin and Raleigh are about to beat him up, and then
Chris Masters' music hits.
Sort of, except
Wait, Jesus Christ!
The music that hits is Renegade by Styx, and that's the Orange Psycho Twins music. And me and Brian come out in full jumpsuits, and we take out Kevin and Raleigh in full Nelsons, and
of course,
to which there's like 100 people there, and they're going crazy, and Bob is still laying on the floor shaking. So Kevin and Raleigh sell, and our wives are there looking at us like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
They got out of the ring, and me and Brian are like, all right, old man, we're going to beat you up now. We're going to kick the shit out of you.
Life already won.
So I go to pick him up, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick you up. And I thought he would get up and then like role play, and then I would have thrown him in a full Nelson. But instead, he was too fucking weak and too scared and just shaking like an animal that we just called it quits there. And that was the end of the party, really. We just hung out after. I think we did karaoke, and Bob just went home early because he was too fucking pathetic to stand up to the Orange Psycho Twins. But so yeah.
Wow.
To answer your question, the Wizard has had a birthday party at Creator Pro. Hopefully his last one, both in life and at Creator Pro.
It never ceases to amaze me. The situations that this guy has put himself into.
Oh, dude. I should send you the videos that we have of him. It's just fucking disturbing.
I can't wrap my brain around it, but I mean it is what it is. I was telling you I had a quick week this week. I was supposed to be off, but I got booked by the UFC gyms in Chicago to go. I got to fly out tomorrow now to Chicago, and I'm going to a banquet for the UFC gyms. Those the UFC has their chain of like fitness gyms and their training facilities, and one of the regional manager or the guys that is in charge of the 7 gyms in Chicago, in his fighters, they're having like a ceremony at one of the nightclubs, and I've been brought in to hang out with them and to give a speech, and also to meet about getting my fitness products, my Feed Me More Nutrition, in their gyms in Chicago, and possibly, hopefully, in all the UFC gyms in the nation.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was. Today's turned into a rush day. I've also, I do all the orders. I don't know. I told you, I briefly touched on it earlier when I boxed you. I was like, today's been such a stressful day. I keep getting more and more orders on feedmemore.com, and it's like I'm so thankful. Like this thing it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and but it takes up a good amount of my time early in the day.
Sure.
And because I do everything, and I told you I'm hands on with this, and this is all up to me. And my label printer that I have this really good label printer, but it malfunctioned, and I had to I spent an hour and a half trying to fix it. Which I finally got to the bottom of it, and I had to call the company. But I had to print the labels out manually on the computer, then tape them onto the thing. And I was just behind all day rushing, and but I got everything done that I needed to. And but I'm excited to go out there, and I come back Sunday and resume everything, getting ready for the big match next week, and then the big signing. So.
Yeah, you're going to have a pretty full schedule come March.
March, yeah. Oh, it's going to be, it's so busy, man. That's why I just told you, I started the boxing back up yesterday after a couple months off. because I got everything. Like I feel very comfortable now with the routine of like getting up and getting all my supplements packaged, shipped out, all that. And like, I had to just get all that down. I got the social media stuff under control, and I have a good grasp on all that. And so I could start resuming my activities a little bit. I'm feeling good physically. So I went 8.5 rounds yesterday, my first day back. And the trainer I told you was just, usually we would have done like 3 or 4 rounds to start, and we did 8.5, and I was completely fine. And
would you ever consider boxing? I mean,
I love boxing's my favorite of all the different skills, I guess you could say.
But if you had a choice between, like, you know, because we talked about the Bellator stuff in the past, but like, I thought about that. Would you be more interested if boxing ever came along with that? I mean,
more so than anything, because I do that the most.
Okay,
I'm the most comfortable boxing out of all the different things, and it's hard. You look at all the mixed martial artists and the fighters, and there's a lot of them that are very well rounded. Mm-hmm. But they all have one particular thing that they're good at. Yeah. I've always felt striking is the most important. Like, I feel like if you could strike, that you have a fighting chance. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
But obviously, and it you know, the different matchups and everything. But like, look at a guy like Mark Hunt. He's a notorious striker. Yeah, and he has a chance every fight he's in. Everybody thought he was going to knock out Brock, and he honestly could have at any point. You know what I mean? Like, because he strikes that hard. So I've always felt boxing is very important. And kickboxing actually is something I enjoy doing a lot too. And even with my gimmick leg, but I still do it. And I enjoy that. And I just drive. That school's 40 minutes away. So it's, wow. And then I got that jiu-jitsu school though is down the road 5 minutes. So 7 minutes right down the road for me, which I pay for that school. So, but I'm going to start incorporating all that, because one of my goals this year is to be a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and I will achieve that. So, but I gotta get my body's feeling good again. I have the time with everything going on. I need to get that all going here, just because it's something I enjoy. It's fun, hobby. It's just great stress relief, and it's fun learning new things. And I think everybody should learn one self-defense skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like one of the martial arts, or one form of. Just for the self-discipline and like the conditioning aspect alone too, it's just so rewarding. You feel so good afterwards. But I think it's like, you think about it, like every woman would want their man to know how to be able to defend himself into some regard, if anything ever happened. And not to say you have to be the toughest person in the world, but like, I've always kind of looked at it like that. You need to know one thing at least, kind of okay, just for life. Like, it's just fun. Like I love going there. It's fun. And like, it is. Do
you think at any point there could be, and I'm not trying to tease anything, but do you think he'll have some sort of professional fight?
I don't know. It all depends on like how quick with this supplement thing I can get my attention off of this. And by that I mean, because that's my number one priority right now. Yeah. Like, you got to pick one thing and focus on it, and the supplement thing, because that is setting me up for the rest of my life. And
just to repeat on here, because you were on JR's this week, and I think it's important. I think the main reason, or one of the main reasons, because the Bellator deal, not for nothing, it was a pretty considerable deal.
Oh no, they were they were very fair in their offer, and it wasn't like, oh, I want more money. I told Jim Ross, like, as a business person, I'm going to hear them out, and I'm going to I want to see the best offer that I can get on something, just because I know the kind of money that I'm dealing with the supplement thing, and I don't need to do that. And I know I love wrestling, and I've devoted a big chunk of my life to wrestling, but like, I'm very happy in my life right now. Like,
sure.
So like, there's no.
But what I was saying with that is that they would have required you. The main thing that I think they weren't understanding is that one of the reasons you weren't really open to it is because they were basically like, oh, you can do whatever you want with your life. Like, you know, like Bobby Lashley does TNA and he still fights Bellator. Yeah. But they couldn't understand the fact that, like, no, if you're going to do this, you're going to be full throttle just doing that and training for a camp. And I don't think they could understand that. And that's where
that's a morning to night job. Yeah. I'm talking all day. Your life revolves that's how I approach anything. Like,
well, to you, but a lot of those fighters, man, not for nothing. Like, UFC looks for the best in the world as far as fighting wise. But like, I think a lot of, Bellator is openly, they're entertainment also with MMA, and they were kind of like, oh, you can do both. It's like, no, if you would take it upon yourself to train like a
I'm
maniac.
not just doing. Yeah. I just it's like anything I apply myself to, but like that's what I've already dedicated myself to this supplement line. That's been
Sure.
a goal of mine, and like so I'm not being true to myself if I do that, and that's why everything is going off so good here. And the quicker I can get this to the level I need to get it to, kind of not hand it over or by any means, but where I have employees and I have other people in key positions running things. And then I can really, and I plan on that being within the year with the way this is going. So it's just, you have to focus on one thing at a time. And I realize that. And it's good to give my body a break with everything, because the training that that is intense training.
Yeah.
That's just physical. It's physicality morning to night. Mm-hmm. And it's weight training and it's all the different skills. And so it's just, I'm not ready for that right now with what I got going on. And I enjoy doing it as a hobby. So
Sure. All right, what else we got here? I had a ton of fan questions. I don't know if you have anything else, or we should get right into that.
I think also mentioning the red wine of the week is Incognito 2014 red wine blend out of California. But I went with Incognito tonight, and not too bad. It was like it wasn't the cheapest, it wasn't the most expensive.
Okay.
It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's it's a fair red wine on my end tonight. What are you drinking?
I did not go with the wine tonight. I want to start drinking vodka again.
Really?
And I've had some really bad experiences in my life with vodka, but I know that it might be. I try to mix it up with a little Zevia and a little a ginger ale Zevia and some Tito's vodka.
Tito's is a big. That's one of my go-tos when I do a vodka night. It's one of the cleanest vodkas out there, and the hangovers are very. Not to say that you can't get them, because obviously if you drink enough, but if you even drinking a good amount, you're usually okay on it.
I want to get back into that. I really do. It's been a while, and vodka gives me bad memories, but I just felt like doing it. You know why? Because the other night it was President's Day, and I went to the city. I actually met with Wade for a bit. We had a
That's right. Talk about that. How'd that go?
It was good to see him.
When you say Wade, you mean Stu Bennett, right?
That's right. The artist formerly known. We had a cup of coffee at he's moving.
Oh, old Bennett loves his cup of coffee.
We just caught up, talked some stuff, and
you talk shit about me?
Talked a lot of shit. I'm like, look, man,
I'm looking to get rid of this fucking guy.
I gotta get rid of this guy. Like you're
trying to change the name of my wrestling school. No, he's one of the best human beings in wrestling. I love him.
And he's a big fan of Manhattan. He really likes it here. So hope to see more of him soon. And but after that, my wrestling school was closed that night, and it was President's Day, and a lot of people had off. So instead of going home like a responsible man, I met up with my friends and drank a lot of wine at the bar. So
oh, really?
Yeah, it was Monday night. And I said, you know what? Tonight I'm going to switch it up. Let me try some vodka, see how I can handle it. And
red wine can make you really sick if you drink too much of it.
Only once a week, man. Maybe I can do that.
That's why I do the red wine for the podcast, and this is the most fun of the week for me. It's my thirsty Thursday, as the ex-girlfriend Priscilla likes to call it. Then she goes, "Is this your thirsty Thursday?" And I go, "Yeah, I like to have a few glasses of red wine, 2 or 3."
That's what she calls the podcast. The thirsty Thursday.
Yeah. She's pretty funny with all that.
That's
awesome. Speaking of which, I was going to tell you, she actually. Because her family, we're friends. We've stayed great friends now with everything. And we've become much, much better friends. And she sends me an article this week from one of her family members. And it was the Sportster. And it was the guy's name. I'm not even going to give him the satisfaction of saying his name on the air, but people could find it if they look. And it was like 15 wrestlers living off their name, trying to live off their name, but failing miserably or something.
So it's a real positive article. Yeah.
Yeah. Real positive. And it has and there's like Virgil and the Carlito, Chris Masters. And it's like by a guy. I have a feeling I told you I know who the guy is, and I'll tell you that in a second. But it's like, it was so disheartening to see. And he had a picture of me on the front of the thing to try to make me look bad. But she sends to me, she goes, what's wrong with people? She goes, there's nothing true in this thing. And she goes, like, doesn't even mention anything that you're doing in your life, other than the fact that I legally changed my name to Ryback so that I could use it on the independents. And like, how's that working out for me with the equal pay? It's working out really, really good for me, actually, buddy. Where I'm probably making more than a lot of the roster. But like, it was meant to try to persuade people that if you wrestle, how dare you make a living wrestling outside of WWE? And he was trying to paint such a negative picture of anybody. All these guys that are making a living, probably making more money than they would make at most normal jobs.
Absolutely.
Working an hourly wage and knocking them. And like, my article mine wasn't even nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. That was the gist of it, what I just told you.
Do you have the names by any chance or no?
The names of what?
Like the people that were on it? I mean,
like I told you, Carlito, Chris Masters, Virgil, Honky Tonk Man, I think was on it.
Okay.
I think Kelly, like, but who hasn't? It was such like, the people on it aren't screaming for attention, trying to, like, it was just such a, like, I told you, I voxed you, I was like, it's so disheartening that anybody could just go online and write a blog or write an article or a thing and not have any credibility whatsoever. And
yeah,
the name sounds very, very, I can't find any social media stuff on this guy. And if people Google it, they'll find the article and they'll see. And it was like, all my media I did for WWE, we always got very positive feedback, and it always made me feel good when the reps, WWE reps, would come back and be like, man, the feedback you get is unbelievable, or whatever that it is. And I'm sure most of the talents get it because everyone takes it very serious. And
sure.
There was one, it was in Abu Dhabi, I believe, in 2012 or 13, when I was working on top there that period. And the guy was just, I remember I brought up stuff about social media and how it was just disheartening, how it's really, the negative has overwhelmed the positive, I felt like.
Yeah.
And like, a lot, it has consumed so many people's lives. And how I felt like, I brought up to him, there's a lot of journalists out there that shouldn't be journalists. They don't have the credentials. And because at that point there was a lot of articles on me that were just not true. Yeah. And it hurts when you see that, and somebody that doesn't know you trying to persuade readers and give a negative. And there was a lot of them out there during that period and throughout my career. And that guy did not like that I brought that up. So he buried me to the WWE reps who already were there for the thing and knew that I did nothing wrong. And they were just like, we'll never use this guy again, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's the guy. The name is very, very familiar. But I can't find any social media stuff on him to see a picture, because I knew if I saw him, I would recognize him. But I can't find anything under his name. And now that's what I wanted to talk with you about also, the podcast show that, I guess they reached out and wanted me to be on their show or something. And I had to like mute the guy months back because he was like calling me a pussy and saying I wouldn't come on his show, and just very unprofessional. And then like I saw something today, I was getting messages from people saying, you know, fuck Ryback and this and that. He's not worth that, and wants money to do a podcast. And I was just like, I've never charged to do an interview or a podcast. Sure. And I remember, and then like the producer of the show like messaged saying that he spoke with my manager, and my manager, alleging you, quoted him $2,000 to do his show. And I get the emails. I see everything.
Which I would have quoted a lot more than that.
Yeah. That's the first thing that crossed my mind. No, but I looked at, I pulled up the emails on the date that the guy sent, and there was an email from a producer, and there was no reply.
Nope.
And because it was during a period, I know we had a lot of emails, and I think you were on vacation or something was going on. And like, I was like, man, it just sucks that anybody could say anything and have an influence on somebody, and you don't want to pay any attention. That's why we're not going to say their names and give them any credibility. But
even to go further than that, like how dark it gets with like certain things. So, a guy has a podcast or a show, and I think people pick it's easier to get attention if you write something that's like jarring or negative,
Yeah.
and
They're
instead
looking
of like
for clicks.
they're looking for clicks instead of devoting your life and how can I be interesting. You can be if you're creative with it, that's one thing, but like, you know, they want to be noticed. I get that. I totally understand that. But you know, wrestlers are people. They're people too. Like, it's just like there's a way to do it, and you realize that wrestling's such a niche business that if you kind of focus your energies on kind of always exposing what is going to be perceived as dirt or negative content, then you're going to kind of put a black mark against you when you know, even if you get thousands of YouTube views or whatever, or followers, whatever it may be, people aren't going to want to do business with you or you know, because of that, because you've based a career upon that. But in this situation too, it actually not just was it negative stuff on you, the producer of the show, not even the host of this thing, took it a step further, replied to you and go, hey, we didn't do anything wrong here. We reached out to your management, your people, and they quoted us an insane price for something. And then I wrote back,
which, by the way, with all that, like, that's not a lot of money to me. That's not like, and that maybe to some people that is a lot of money, but I don't we don't do prices for interviews. I just choose to do what interviews I think are going to be good. And we don't charge for that.
No.
And like, but it's just so upsetting to see people like, and so say that did happen and you did do that and that happened. Like, the fact that they would go, the guy, and he's trying to act like they did nothing wrong by putting it out there, saying that regardless, he's trying to paint me in a bad light.
Paint you in a bad light, and then put a rift between your quote management team, which is me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked at that and I talked to the guy. He's like, oh, I said, that's bullshit. Show me the email. He goes, oh, it's been wiped clean. I go, it's funny because I have it right here. There's no reply. And I go, common sense. We knew we were doing a podcast eventually. And on top of that, like, that was during a period where literally hundreds of emails coming in. And I was going through the booking ones, like the dates, like ignoring the interview stuff because we knew we would have what we're listening to right now. So it's just horse shit, you know?
Yeah. That just kind of it triggered that with me is just, I want people to understand. And like with these Bleacher Reports, and there's some really good journalists out there, that do their homework, but the majority have no business being able to have any opinion on anything because they don't have the experience, and just because you've watched wrestling for 15 years doesn't make you an expert on wrestling. I could sit and watch just to give an example. Sure. I got a tape library of jiu-jitsu DVDs. I could watch these jiu-jitsu DVDs over and over and over again and say that I have all the way from the blue belt to the black belt series. And I could watch these and study them. And I could think that I understand. And I might have a better understanding of it than I would if I didn't watch it. But it still isn't the same as going and actually doing it.
Absolutely.
And going out there and performing against another black belt because he would tap me out eventually.
Yeah.
But these people watch wrestling and think that because they watch it I watched it during the Attitude Era, I know what's good. And which by the way, if you go back and watch the stuff on that, like from a match standpoint, it's not all that great. But that they think that they're experts and that they then, they take their opinion, their mark opinions, and then they go and they try to influence others of their opinions and try to get other people to agree with them. Yeah. And it's a very, very sad thing. And rather than going out there and writing articles to help people, to improve people's lives, people have done the negative and done the opposite. And they write about fake fighting and their opinions on fake fighting because they're experts from sitting on their couches watching a lot of wrestling, which takes zero effort. So it reminded me of that, and I wanted to talk about that. Not to believe the majority of what you read. And you got to look at, if these journalists could actually had to post a picture of themselves up with their article, and we could physically see a full body shot, not waist down, just that's for you, Trent. Full, show me your dick. Full body shot, fucking of these guys. You'd be able to realize, oh fuck, I just read an article on that guy and let his fucking opinion and go infiltrate my mind.
Yeah.
Fuck me. that it's just, it sucks. I just want to raise awareness on it because don't waste your time, guys. It's just because it says Bleacher Report. I remember WWE. We did a social media. Did I ever tell you that story?
I don't know.
We had to do media. It was a meeting on media or media training. Sorry, where
Okay.
I was already doing media, and it was me, Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, and Cesaro in a class, and me and Dolph and Cody and Cesaro, we'd all already done quite a bit of media. We were the current media guys that were doing like the every Monday, Tuesday, like rotating in and out, and like the reviews are great. We understood media. Yeah, but I understand WWE wants to cover their ass, and it's always good to do seminars and whatnot. I felt like they could have handed us a packet, and it would have been just as effective. But we had to go to this like 2-hour class before TV one day, and for media training that we were already doing. Well, we'd already been doing, and this group that they brought in had to like just kind of, they tried to put us on the spot, and we had to do like practice media sessions.
Like role play?
Yeah, role play.
Wow.
Essentially. And there were two things that came out of this class that we all remember. And to this day is the funniest thing ever. One of them was something with Dolph Ziggler being physically abusive in a sexual relationship with like Amy Schumer. Was it Schwimmer?
Amy Schumer, yeah, Schumer.
Something. And I just remember like laughing so hard, like Dolph beating the shit out of her while they're having sex. But it was like so stupid. They were trying to like make him really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And of course, he's the man. And we're going to talk about this later. And he just turned it around on him and like bam, 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 and fucking, and everything was fine. But I went and like, I always like try to entertain the group that we have too. But one of the questions was the girl goes, she goes, "My, you have an impressive set of forearms," or something. Like,
Oh boy.
yeah, and because as you know, I'm big on the Captains of Crush hand grips, which I've been working with my boy Jed from social media, and he's getting my grip strength. I'm finally learning how to do them properly. I had to take a few steps back, but that's another story. But thanks, Jed. If you could post another video on hand positioning and getting it closed
Jesus Christ.
with the other hand, it would help me greatly. Dude, I'm obsessed with these things. I want to close a 3 and a 3.5 this year. But because I was doing it the wrong way. The way I've been doing it my whole life. He was like, "Oh, you should never be able to close like a 2.5." And like I've been able to do a 2.5 with the wrong way for like years. So I'm like, man, if I can learn how to do it the right way, I can really do some serious damage. But I got to condition my hands in that positioning. But the girl goes, "Man, you have an impressive set of forearms." I go, "Thank you." I go, they've been compared to Mark McGuire in his prime. She goes, Dolph and Cody and Cesaro instantly lose their shit. And because I just go off of what the fuck, like,
yeah.
And she goes, "It's interesting you bring that up because it shows here you've had a failed wellness policy test back in developmental." And then like, I just played it off again. I go, "Actually, I did." And I told her exactly what happened. And then they tried to go, "Well, you see, you got to avoid things they could bring up." I go, and I remember my whole thing was that. I go, "Why?" I go, "I played that perfectly." I go, "It was an entertaining interview. The audience laughed." And I go, and I gave an honest answer and how I learned from my mistake. And they go, "Oh, you're right." And I go, "I know I'm right." And that was it. Like it was like, I know how to do media, asshole. Fuck off. And I mean, like, I get it. They're trying to help, but it's like honesty. When you're honest with people, people respect that. Of
course.
And that was what I was trying. I was like, you don't have to like dance around. If they ask you a question, you fucking answer it. If you were wrong, you own up to it. You fucking learn from your mistakes and you move on.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, it's not fucking rocket science, but
Oh man.
yeah, that brought that to my mind. So
So we talked about that article. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know if we want to start with the questions or you got anything else.
I think that's a good time to take a break right here. We'll plug a little bit of Zevia, and which is getting rave reviews from last week. And
yeah, thank you guys. Keep those 6-packs going. Go to that fucking Zevia thing.
We'll regroup here, and we'll be back in a minute. Do you love having a nice cold soda, but don't want the empty calories or artificial sweeteners such as aspartame and sucralose destroying your health and making you feel like a walking zombie? Well, with Zevia, you can have your soda and drink it too. without worrying about harmful ingredients or calories, because there aren't any. Zevia has 0 artificial ingredients and uses the all-natural sweetener stevia, the miracle plant that provides 200 times the sweetness of sugar with 0 calories and no impact on your blood sugar levels. On top of that, Zevia has no nasty caramel coloring and is completely non-GMO project verified. The end result is a delicious and safe way to enjoy your soda without the bad stuff. Zevia offers 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 3 delicious energy drinks. It's the clean pop that you and your family will crave. Want to try Zevia for yourself? You're in luck, because Zevia is offering listeners of Conversation with the Big Guy free, that's right, free 6-packs to try Zevia for yourself. If you live in the United States or Canada, all you have to do is go to www.zevia.com/podcast and sign up and get a free 6-pack in the mail. You'll love it. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.zevia.com/podcast today and find Zevia in a store near you.
Hey everybody, while we take a quick break to refill on a little bit of liquid courage, you may be thinking to yourself that you're pretty hungry right now, and you wouldn't be if you joined Blue Apron already. What is Blue Apron? It's a #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. Their produce is sourced from local farms that practice regenerative farming. Check out their upcoming meals: spicy shrimp coconut curry with cabbage and rice, vegetable chili and baked sweet potatoes with crispy tortilla strips. Normally stuff I would never cook, I'm making weekly. Actually, I'm not making it. My wife is. I love her dearly. She may hate me. She may eventually leave me because I make her cook Blue Apron, but it only takes 40 minutes or less. And what you need to do is check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals for free just for listening to the show. Free shipping. There's no risk. Go to blueapron.com/conversations with an S. You will love how good it feels, how it tastes. Incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So please don't wait. blueapron.com/conversations. Back to the show.
And we're back, guys. Zevia being on board with Conversation with the Big Guy. A lot of positive feedback with that. And I get a lot of emails and fan mail with people saying thank you for suggesting Zevia with their like sweet tooth and how it's helped them curb their sugar cravings essentially, and how they'd given up like diet soda. They knew it was bad for them and they hadn't found a replacement. And it's, that's cool. I'm glad I could share what's worked with me, what's worked with you, and
Sure.
and our listeners can benefit and reap the rewards of that also. That's the whole point of life, is evolving and growing. And Zevia, it is a top, guys, legitimately, I've been drinking this for years, and I'm such a fan of theirs and what they're doing and their message. And they are making calorie-free, sugar-free soda cool again, and doing it the right way. And check them out. Obviously, if you heard the commercial there, you can sign up and get a free 6-pack, and it's well worth it, guys. Check it out. And they have all the different flavors. And if you don't like one particular flavor, you might like another. I know Hornswoggle, little Dylan. I was talking to him today, which I forgot I told him I was going to talk about this. He was like, he didn't like a couple of the flavors, but he found like he loves Mountain Dew, and he like ended up. And I was like, they make a Mountain Dew one, right? Mm-hmm. Mountain Zevia, and he was like, I believe and he was like, he got it, and I believe he likes that one. Like Dr. Pepper, same thing. Dr. Zevia, they have
all of them. Yeah,
I love the cherry cola ones too. There's so many. Like you just got it. Stevia is 200 times sweeter than sugar. Mm-hmm. And like it's like I tell people that with the pre-workout. Broski likes to bitch about the taste. I know we've talked about.
Broski likes to bitch about life.
Yeah, about everything. Every fucking thing going on, he fucking bitches about. And like, I don't like the taste. God damn it.
Not even that. He'll be like, oh, it tastes like shit. I'm like, dude, me and Tyson were calling him out. We're like, you fucking man up. Like, It's I like it. I enjoy it. I'm
I
fine with it.
legitimately, it tastes good, and stevia has a different sweetness to it than the other if you're not used to stevia. But usually everyone comes around eventually, and and I tell people just use a little more water if you find that you not. But I did a shot. I did my Wake Up Unlimited Energy today. I took it like in a little, like a shot almost. And
Really?
yeah, because I wanted to see,
Oh.
and it hits you a lot harder if you drink it all at once rather than sipping it. And I
Trench was giving us like a breakdown the other day of how he was feeling. He tried it for the first time, I think, last week.
He gave me
He's on
very
board.
positive feedback from it. I don't know what he told you guys. It's always, you never.
He's like, I think I took too much. I might be having a stroke.
Yeah, he said he needs to take a little less, but it's because he's caffeine sensitive. And I've always it's on the label. Start with half a scoop, and assess your tolerance. And some people, like Priscilla, can only take a quarter of a quarter scoop, a quarter of a quarter. I'm talking that, and
wow.
And she feels amazing on it when she takes the right amount. That's why it's like you don't just take something and be like, oh, I like it or don't like it. You got to find. I told people everyone has a different level of what they like. The one scoop is the maximum, because there's some people whose receptors are just fried from just taking stims their entire life that need an entire scoop. Other people can do a quarter scoop or half a scoop or 3/4 of a scoop. And it is the most amazing stuff on earth if you truly know how to take it. So, but it's I love it. I Broski, though, I notice he likes to complain about it a lot of stuff. So Broski, knock that shit off. This stuff tastes amazing.
So what else we had going on here? Yeah, we had an outline.
We always we have an outline, but I like it when we just kind of free ball it, so to speak, and just kind of go with the flow. But I told a little Hornswoggle today. I was laughing. I never told you that. Did you ever hear the stories? William Regal and Daniel Bryan had a period where they were both really bored at TV. Dan was always bored.
Okay.
Dan's always bored at TV, first of all. Just probably more so than ever now, because he can't wrestle and he just has to wait. He has to wait all day to be told what to go out and say and not wrestle and just go talk. He's probably in hell, legitimately.
Yeah.
Knowing Dan. And so they decided Hornswoggle was too fat and they wanted to get his little midget body in shape. Their words, not mine. And they decided to start training him at TVs and putting him through the paces and do calisthenics and push-ups and just running the bleachers at the arenas and
like real life stuff, not an angle.
No, not an angle though. This is real. But it was solely to entertain themselves. But deep down, I feel like Dan and William Regal both do have a good heart deep down, and I feel like they did think he had a son, and they wanted to make sure that he's around later on in life. And that because he was he was looking really bad, and I remember I was voxing him and I just was laughing hysterically. I'll never forget one day walking into a locker room. There was one of these, a lot of the times in our locker rooms there'll be doors with little rooms inside of them also.
Yeah. And
there was this little room that they were in, very fitting for the scenario, and Dan and William Regal are in there counting military style, just 5, 6, 7, just very aggressive. And Hornswoggle's in there with his shirt off, just drenched in sweat, doing push-ups. And I remember I just stopped and I just looked in the room and I looked at everybody. We all made eye contact and I just kept walking. And it was like another day at the fucking office. And I just remember thinking, what a crazy fucking world I'm living in right now, where there's this well-respected Englishman, one of the greatest technical wrestlers of our time, and Little Hornswoggle, one of the greatest midgets of our time in WWE, maybe the most famous of them all. And I
might be the best one in the ring too.
Yeah,
probably
the
best. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's go ahead and say it. The best.
He's the best.
The best midget of all time, and fucking just in there trying to get his fat body in shape. And I fucking loved every second of it. And I thought about that today and had flashbacks, and I miss moments like that are what I miss from being on the road the most. It's and Dan was always behind a lot of those moments. So it was I wanted to share that because it brought a smile to my face today.
That's great. I talked to Swoggle. We like to have Monday and Tuesday conversations on Voxer. And because he runs not a lot of fans may know this, he runs a promotion, and he did while he was in WWE.
What is his promotion?
I don't know if it might be, oh God, I think it's ACW, but it's in wherever he's from, like near Green Bay, Oshkosh area.
Yeah,
They'll probably curse me out for doing that.
We'll get it right. We'll
wrong.
plug it next week for him and get it on there. But I didn't.
Well, yeah, his big show is April 22nd. So if you're in the Green Bay area, go check out Hornswoggle's show.
Am I booked on April 22nd or no?
You had probably, I swear to God, maybe 25 different requests. You're in Germany. That's a Germany one.
Oh, okay.
So, but
I'm doing the seminar for them too, I believe, right?
Seminar, and big seminar.
I'm looking forward to that actually a lot.
Should be cool. A lot of stuff going on. Speaking of Dan put out, I think we talked about this before. He helped my show out a bit by retweeting that Starland Ballroom thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
And yeah, thanks, Dan. And we saw a sweet video from the highlights of that show.
Oh yeah, I voxed you about that today.
It looked like the video was well made. The only thing I thought that was kind of interesting was you were getting the shit kicked out of you
the entire
every
video.
Clip.
I messaged you. I saw it on, and then you go, I haven't seen it yet. And I go, just watch it. And then and I go, it's me getting my ass kicked the entire time. And I'm like all for it. Like I'm cool with it. I'm watching it thinking like, all right, we're showing Cage's offense. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's turn it around. Come on, let's see what the big guy did this match. And then we finally get to me, and you can't see. It's a cannonball, but from the camera shot, they only get you just see Cage. It's showing Cage in the corner the whole time. It's not showing.
Yeah.
It's not showing me doing the move. So you just see me come into the frame of the shot of Cage. You just see my fucking big guy body come into the frame really quickly. And if you don't know, you won't know. Like, what the fuck did he just do? And then the next clip, my big move that I do, my big highlight is a running fucking tackle. That was the beginning of my comeback. And I messaged you. I go, does this guy fucking hate my guts? I go, he couldn't have made me look any fucking worse. I go, we did this whole match that everybody's fucking talking about, which I don't like in particularly, but everybody else seems to like. And I go, the two things we got from it was Cage sitting in the corner and me doing a tackle.
And what made it really bad is they must have put 20 different Cage moves in there.
Yeah.
And then 2 of yours.
If you saw that match, if that highlight video, you would have thought Cage beat the fuck out of Ryback. Total squash match. And man, I mean, it was there was fucking meat chin music in there. I fucking did a dive to the outside. Fucking Germans. I mean, come on.
So if you want to see that video, Facebook.com/WrestlePro or on Twitter, WrestlePro.
Is that match going to be, I want to upload that to my YouTube channel. Guys, I'm trying to there's another guy that reached out I'm going to be using to help me with YouTube content. I really, really need, I was talking to Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, his guy Victor, who does everything in if you follow him on Snapchat, Jay Cutler, he's a former 4-time Mr. Olympia. And he has this guy Victor with him that is in charge of his social media and does all his packaging. I'm looking for a guy like Victor. I've talked about it before. And not even, I would rather.
I'm looking for a guy like Victor.
I'm looking for a guy like Victor. Oh, wow. No, but I've said plug in hot chick, but being professional, I notice when Cutler's not around Victor, he doesn't have nearly the amount of content on his social media. But when Victor's with him, he's filming everything, and it's very entertaining. And I'm like, God, I'm missing out on so much because I get so busy and focused, I forget to do stuff sometimes. I always think it's detracting to film while I'm doing stuff. It would be so much easier to have just somebody he has him living with him in his house, and I'm sure he lets him live with him for free and gives him a salary. And but it has to be the right person. I don't want a fanboy or a fangirl that's I want a normal human being. I don't. It's just And they haven't come.
tough.
Yeah. You got to be. I'm very careful of who I let into my life with Sophie and Sonny, and the mother lives in the apartment suite attached to my house, and like I'm the right person will come along eventually, but it would just really help. I'm trying to increase my YouTube content, but are we going to get that cage matchup?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on things to get edited. Normally takes like 3-4 weeks after the show to.
I think
get
you
the
told me
turnaround,
that. Yeah,
and
you don't. It's hard to get all that. It takes time, right?
it's tough. Yeah, so we just got the video, so hopefully soon, and we'll put that up.
It's the match is just all of Cage's offense and none of mine. Wait, where did my stuff go?
So, what else do we have here? We have questions. We also have the beginner's guide to things. I don't know which one you want to get into first.
There was that. I wanted to do. Remember, I was telling you Blackstone Labs got busted earlier this week.
Oh, yeah. So, I didn't understand what this was at first because, you hear about this now and then, but, and it was for a pre-workout, correct? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I don't know all the facts. And the guy that runs Blackstone Labs is actually married, I believe, to former WWE diva Celeste.
Yeah, who was Caitlyn.
Caitlyn in WWE. And but he used to be involved in with the pro hormones and SARMs, or these were they're essentially steroids.
And what are SARMs exactly? What does that mean?
It's like selective androgen receptor modulator.
Okay.
It's something I don't quote me on that, but it's something where they're steroids, but they're not steroids. And but a lot of that stuff.
And I think a lot of people may not even know what pro hormones are. Could you explain that real quick?
Yeah,
some people have no idea.
There's a lot of companies, and the FDA and in the government now is they've rated a lot of these companies that what they do is. So like steroids, they'll have a certain chemical breakdown that makes them that particular steroid. What a lot of these companies started doing is they get these people that are educated in chemistry and in things of different formulations, and they could alter the chemical profile of these steroids where they methylate it, or they add something to it where it's not technically that steroid, but when you take it converts to that steroid in your body. So they found ways around the law, but a lot of these things are so bad for you because your body has to work even harder to break them down. So they're even harder on your kidneys and liver. And it is, some of them don't show up on drug tests, and they're so bad for you. And I know there were guys in up there that were doing them back when I first in 2012 and 13. They were more rampant back then, and they'll change your physique drastically without you doing anything. It's just straight up not fair.
I feel like they were very rampant in FCW early on.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of guys were on them.
I remember, and I'm always very honest about this. There was M-Draw was a big thing back then.
Yes, M-Draw.
And I remember I got down there and I was clueless. I was out of the loop on this. After I'd stopped everything early on, I was just why I don't need to keep looking for things. And all the guys were doing M-Draw, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I remember I got a bottle and I tried it for 1 month. And I remember, no joke, I didn't want to have sex or jerk off for a month. And I remember thinking this shit sucks. It doesn't increase your sex drive. Yeah, it puts on a little bit of muscle, but it just, I was just I like having a healthy sex drive. It's very motivating. And it's at the root of all accomplishments. And I was just man, outside of it, the gym, when I feel cool, I don't feel cool outside of that. And I threw it away and I never did it ever again. And I remember there was one particular guy that came up to me and he was really heavy into him and he looked great. And he told me, he goes, I'm so depressed. He goes, I have no sex drive. I goes, I'm worthless. I can't get it up. And he goes, what's the point? Yeah, I look good, but I can't back it up. And I go, yeah, no shit. Get off it. It's not, I go, just have confidence. I said, I go, you look good. So to others, it appears that you have confidence, but internally you have no confidence. Just create confidence inside. And I go, and you'll be happy. And he goes, that makes sense. and I think he got off of him, and he had a good run, and it's garbage, man. But like this one company, and they were doing and I don't want to bash any other companies or anything like that, but like they were doing the DMAA in their pre-workout. And the DMAA was in the Jack 3D back in the day, which all of us all took. And it's dimethylamine. And it's a synthetic drug essentially. And it what it does is they say it's safer than ephedrine, but it's just not good for you. I've tried it in their pre-workout, and it gives you like the cold sweats and like rapid heartbeat, and just you go from feeling really, really energized to super, super tired. And it's not good. It's poison. It's poison for the human body. And anybody that tries to tell you any differently is lying to you. And but they were rated, and in particular, I feel like it was mostly for the DMAA, which was banned back in 2012 and 13. That period, I believe it was 2012 that it was banned. And a lot of the pre-workouts, a lot of these companies, that's what they would do. They would put these artificial stimulants in there to try to, this is awesome. But like the whole point of supplements is to not only look better, but it's to feel better too. And to be good for you, not to take away from your health. And that's my whole point with my Feed Me More Nutrition, is that not only do they work great and better than anything out there, they're actually good for you, and they're not bad for your health. So I just thought that was something worth, noteworthy to bring up this week. And everything with the supplement line has been going great. And thank you guys for the support. And I was telling you earlier, we're doing thousands of dollars in sales every day, and on the website alone, on feedmemore.com. And I've been very busy, and I'm so grateful for all of this. And the Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner has been approved. It's ready to go. We're in the final stages of that and start production on that. And I'm hoping by the end of April, beginning of May, that is ready to go and available for purchase. So.
And the podcast people get a special code, correct? I heard that's a big hit.
That has been overwhelming this week. The podcast code is podcast10, PODCAST 10, 10, podcast 10. And you can save 10% on feedmemore.com, guys, on anything across the board. So I had a lot of people. I got a guy, I believe in, I forget where he's back east in the Middle East. And they run a huge chain of gyms, and he's a distributor. We're working out a deal right now to get Feed Me More Nutrition over there.
In the Middle East?
Yeah, Middle East.
Really?
Yeah. And then also a guy also in...
I want to make jokes, but I don't want to make jokes. Sorry.
No, let's not make jokes on this. And a guy in the Middle East. On Amazon. I'm trying to get in on Amazon and eBay. And I may be doing the Amazon myself. I'm just filling out a few things on that, on the Seller Central. There's a few rules and regulations, and I got to pay a fee to sell supplements on there, but it's well worth it. So we are expanding, and like I said, I'm going to meet with the UFC gyms this weekend in Chicago, and hopefully could strike a deal there. And we're off and running. I'm beyond thankful for all of it. And you guys, thank you for the support, and I'm going to continue to keep giving you guys great products and giving you everything I got. So thank you.
All right. So we had a bunch of questions here. I think that'd be a perfect time to go into this.
I love questions. I think it's a good way to interact with the fans and give them the answers that they want.
And this has been building up for a couple weeks, so I feel bad for people. I said I'd get back to you, and I'm not the greatest at this, but hey, we'll go right into it right now. First one's from the Red Daniels on Twitter. He says, are there any wrestling moves that you will never take?
I saw something with Kenny Omega and was it Moose maybe?
Okay.
I believe, and he gave him, is it the Dragon Suplex? It's like the full Nelson Suplex.
It's a Dragon Suplex.
Yeah, where you come back and you just land completely on your head and neck. And with my nerve stuff I had with my neck years ago, I would never take that. I just think it's just too risky for my situation. But I saw that and I go, fuck me. Like that was, I just don't get it. Like the whole point, somebody actually brought up to me, not to go off again,
No, good.
we've acknowledged that the business is fake. We've acknowledged that the business is a work. WWE has told the fans this time and time again. They've told it on their NXT show, like their backstage pass shows. They do giveaways and prizes, and they do walkthroughs where they let fans, they expose them to the business. Why hasn't the ring been made even safer? Somebody brought up to me.
Wow, good point.
And I thought that too. I go, fuck, that's a really good point. Why are we the ring?
Yeah.
Because it's still the steel, the wood, a little foam pad.
Yep.
And I go, we could. And I've said it the whole time. And I'm not. And I did the Jim Ross podcast. I got a lot of great feedback outside of the people that read a few headlines and didn't actually listen to the content of the substance of the actual interview. And I'm not bitter at WWE. I'm angry at different things, and I have moved on, and I'm using it for motivation. But I'll always answer truthfully and acknowledge things that happened. But one of the things is I always want to challenge them to improve themselves and in the business for the betterment of the wrestlers. And why not make the ring a little safer? Like I feel like
I bet you no one's thought of that. I swear to God, I bet you no one's thought of that.
And somebody brought that to my attention, and I thought, and it was JD, and I'll say it, JD Michaels,
sure,
of Iron Attitude, and I go, fuck, that's brilliant. Why hasn't the ring been made? We've told everybody this is fake. Why are we pretending with the ring that it's not? Where guys are legitimately killing themselves still. Why? Everybody knows it's fake.
I think a lot of fans had the misconception. I actually had I almost beat the shit out of a mother once because I swear to God, this is a real story at Create a Pro. I'm there one day and this kid comes in with his mom, and the kid's like fucking tall as shit. He's like 6'6", but he's there with his mommy, and they're talking about signing up. And they're like, we're concerned about injuries and stuff. They're like, but we know the ring is like a trampoline. And I go,
because
with all
they've watched for 15 years on TV.
Well, get this. So they're like, the ring is like a trampoline. I go, no. I go, with all due respect, ma'am, it's not a trampoline. I go, it's steel. For fans listening, it's steel. On top of the steel, then there's wooden planks. After the wooden planks, there's maybe a 2-inch, not even sometimes, layer of rubber or padding. And then
which gets worn out as you wrestle on it. It gets thinner as it gets older.
It gets worn out and it gets very hard. And yes, there's give to the ring, but the reason why there's give to the ring is because the metal beams going across it give. They're still steel, but like it fucking hurts. And then over that is canvas, and that's a ring. And people go, oh, it's a big fucking. And this lady's telling us it's a trampoline. I'm like, this is our school. Are you fucking kidding me? And she goes, oh, well, we've been in the ring before for photo opportunities, and we can tell it's like bouncy and soft. I'm like, I was like turning fucking red.
Did you make her go in the ring, and I would have had her sign a waiver in the office and have her go out there and then take a shoulder tackle.
My fist was just clenching up at my side. I was just like, you fucking asshole, you ignorant piece of shit. Like, it is not a trampoline. It hurts. And then fans go, oh, I don't like, oh, it's just a microphone. It's a big cushion. It's not. It's terrible.
So that brings up
it
to
hurts
me,
bad.
if you guys listening out there, and go ahead and message us on social media, how would you make the ring safer? How could we make wrestling rings safer for the performers? That's my challenge to everybody out there this week. And anybody that knows how they're made. And because I don't have the answer to that off the top of my head.
Neither do I.
But
neither do I.
But if we all put our brains together, I bet you we could figure it out. In WWE and everybody out there, let's make the ring safer somehow, rather than more dangerous, where we can help wrestlers. Because you look at wrestlers die young, and the guys, you look at the hip replacements and the bad backs, and like it is. The pain is very, very real. So maybe there's a way, and looking at this and from the outside now, maybe we can make this a little better. So let's try to figure out a way, and so that the performers that we love and watch today can be healthy later in life and enjoy the money that they made early in their life with their families, and not be crippled or anything of that nature. So.
Yeah. Because the most dangerous thing, I think, I love training my guys, but I tell them at some point, I go,
save your bumps.
I can't bump. Bumping is it's not the physicality. It's not the hard hitting. It's not the wrestling. It's the bumping that fucking ends. That sucks.
Every bump is like a small car crash. What it
Yeah.
does to your body, and like it is. There's a way in. Once you get past learning how to bump, you should minimize your bumps. And I try to tell people that time and time again. It's one thing to go there and you can go train still, and you could drill and you could practice, but save your bumps for when they mean something, because you don't have to learn. Once you learn how to bump and get good at bumping, you don't have to keep doing it. But and to piggyback this, I got an email this week from a local in Las Vegas. And I kid you not, I was at the gym. I was at the LVAC North, where I like to train occasionally when I don't train at the old big guy complex. And the email was of a guy, his 14-year-old daughter that had been in wrestling school. He wanted me to come meet with her and give her advice on wrestling. And he was asking me, and I had to just very nicely tell him I don't agree with her being in wrestling right now, that she is not fully developed.
14 years old.
And a girl. And not fully developed mentally or physically. And who knows when he started her. But the first thing that rang him, the way this happens is usually a parent that is such a huge fucking mark that they can't do it, that they want to live through their kids. And that's what the case was. Like we talked about with these parents back east. And
clearly that's the case, because if he sought out your email and has that mind, like, the first bump I ever took, I was 14, and I begged my mom to like take me to this wrestling school that closed down the next week. But like the fact that this fucking dad, I don't want to shit on him, but in a way,
I don't blame the child by any. I get kids are going to want you.
He finds your email, so it just goes to say that like he put her into it.
Yeah. And it was so. I literally stopped my workout, and it was just so. It makes me sad that and they don't like focus on teaching your daughter a lot of other things. Let her develop physically before. I don't think they understand the abuse your body goes through with professional wrestling. And it's and I'll never like, it's cool to want to do it and to want to get into it, but I really feel you need to be physically developed before you do it. And I feel I just really, and I know there's another thing. You look at a lot of the WWE superstars, and a lot of the superstars wrestlers are smaller than they used to be, height wise. I don't think it's good for you. I think, and like a lot of the people that are up there got into it early. I don't think it's good for your growth plates and for your bones. Like, I don't think you're giving your child a chance to fully develop. I just don't, and it's not. I just think you gotta. It's one thing to let your kid learn how to chain wrestle and to do promos and things like that, but to physically go in there and start bumping, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And if I had a kid, I wouldn't in a million years let them. I would make sure they learned other things first. So, but go ahead, moving on.
There was a couple. It was like a 4-part question. I don't want to waste too much. No. He asked, what are your favorite moves he asked about a dream match. I don't want to skip over stuff, but other people have questions too. Favorite move to give. We'll just say that part.
Favorite move to give?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love doing overhead belly to bellies and German suplexes, which I don't always do all the time, but those are the most fun, I think.
Okay. And for me, I
love the Feed Me More clothesline too, with the interaction with the fans. I like actually getting that. I always kind of get into a groove on that, so I like that.
Favorite move? I don't know if there's a move I won't take. Yeah, there's a couple, I guess. I took the Cop Killer the other day. At Starland. I never thought I'd take that before.
What the fuck is the Cop Killer?
Hurricane did it too. It's called a Vertebreaker.
Yeah, okay.
That's a move.
Okay.
It's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
But I trust him. I was like, I was fine. I actually liked it. Favorite move to give? I don't know. I feel very accomplished when I throw a really high drop kick. And sometimes it's never that high, but when it's really good, it's good.
Yeah.
Someone asked JC Giles, how would someone watch old WrestlePro shows? They're on the YouTube page, and We're about to get a deal with Title Match Wrestling that's going to put up, get a lot more exposure for our shows. So YouTube is the way to go. From Crofty Girl 23, do you guys have any good Trent stories? And I'll see you guys in Orlando. This whole show could be Trent stories.
One Trent story off the top of my head. I remember I think I threw my back out at a day at FCW, something really random. And we were in the ring. It was like after practice, and we were all fucking around. And I was wearing a big Skip Sheffield t-shirt, and it said, Choosy Moms. I remember it to the Choosy Moms Choose Jiff, Easy Moms Choose Skippy. That was my catchphrase. And I live in the gimmick, brother. And my back went out, and I fell down in the ring. And we were like, Trent came over and hooked my big baggy. I always like to wear 3 or 4 XL shirts, the baggy shirts. Okay. And he hooked my shirt around the back of my boots, and I was stuck in the ring on my stomach like a fish out of water. And my back, my back legitimately was I was in a lot of. I don't think he thought I was being serious, and they had to let me out of it. I was stuck, like legitimately stuck, and I was like, "Fuck my back, let me up!" And I couldn't rock and I just couldn't move. So yeah, that was always a funny. I always remember going to Trent's house, and during my ankle injury, I would always go over there and watch the wrestling pay-per-views. And I remember we would smoke spice occasionally when that was a thing. And
yeah, sure.
That shit was so bad for you. But I remember always having to crutch myself up the stairs and just praying that I didn't fall backwards and kill myself. Trent Beretta is one of the best human beings out. He's a little out there. He's different. And I like that about him. He's his own true, unique person. So major shout out to Trent Beretta for fucking doing things his way.
I might have been, I met Trent the very first day he signed up for wrestling school when he was 14 years old. And Trent's 3 years younger than me. So I remember going to the school and they're like, oh, this kid signed up. He does amateur wrestling. And I think we got in the ring. And I think we might have amateur wrestled each other, just kind of messing around. And I remember, though, one story, it always fucking amazes me. One time in Tampa, Trent had a wallet filled with birthday checks, gifts. And he was just taking them. One day he just took them out and he started reading them. He's like, oh man, I should probably cash these. And they were 4 or 5 years old.
Wait,
and
really?
He never fucking, he never cashed them. And I think half of them, if not all of them, expired.
Yeah, they expire after a certain period of time. Man.
That's just
that just shows how unique he is, because most people get a birthday check and they go cash that shit right away.
Not him.
Not Trent Beretta. I always wondered why he was part of the Dude Busters in WWE with Kalen Croft, and I always wondered why he hasn't been rehired yet, because he's so talented. And
well, we have that talk a lot. If you really think about it, he's killing it because he's a contracted New Japan guy, and he's happy, and he's tag champ right now, I believe. So I told you I want to go to Japan for a 2-shot deal. I told Trent this the other day. I want to wrestle him and then Kenny Omega. Can we get this done? You know what? I think it will be done. Not to fucking expose things here, but it's been really crappy as far as whatever, I'll say it. I think New Japan and Ring of Honor are going to go their separate ways, and I think New Japan is going to be very aggressive with how they do things in the United States, and they want more of a presence. And there's some really great people that are going to be working in the New Japan office, so I think it's going to make it a lot easier to communicate with them as opposed to the last fucking 10 plus years of communicating with one guy. So I'm hoping things change around, and I think a lot of good business will happen starting July and onward with New Japan. So let's see what happens with that.
Yeah, no, I think it would. I don't know what, that's one place. I've been to Japan. I like it over there. I'm not signing contracts with anyone, but I'll go over for a couple matches. I'm okay with that, and it would create a good buzz, and there's some good matchups in place. And that's Trent Beretta and Kenny Omega. Fucking feed me.
The other question was from, excuse me, Long Hair Hippie X. on Twitter. Will there be a meet and greet before the show March 30th? Yes, but it'll be just me, stressed out. The meet and greets will be the next day at the convention. There will be none at that show. Or maybe there will be.
What is this? For what?
WrestleCon, WrestleMania weekend.
Okay.
Thursday. I don't really think there's there won't be there may be like people selling their stuff. I'm not sure how it works, but the main convention's on Friday and Saturday.
Which I'm doing. I'm doing the convention Friday, Saturday, and Thursday's just a show. Then me and Colt Cabana, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Cody and Brian Cage and Brandy and
Joey.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's going to happen here.
Hell of a guy, by the way, the Joey Ryan, right?
Great dude.
I met him for the first time at Starland. He was in the same locker room. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's very smart, very very good dude. Yeah. Question for Ryback and Buck from Hebon on Twitter: how is WWE catering? I don't know why you're asking me this. Would they cater to your nutrition needs?
They always had. There was always healthy options in there. I know some of the guys would get sick of it sometimes, but you could always eat healthy if you wanted to. You could always have a salad. You could always have grilled chicken breast. You could always have steak. You could always have tuna fish. You could always have eggs and eat the egg whites out of them. There was always a plethora of healthy options. With that said, they also had a lot of shitty options in there. A lot of cookies, a lot of cakes, a lot of chips, a lot of bad foods in there. But you got to remember they're catering not only to the performers but also to the people, the ring crew and the technicians and the employees, the real employees, not the wrestlers who are independent contractors. But I always said there, and this is one thing I actually to kind of I wish WWE would be more health conscious on their European tours and on the bus rides.
Okay.
So these European tours, it's always like kind of like a free for all on drinking, where the guys can drink whatever they want, and usually they'll do a good job of trying to get a Nando's, like a grilled chicken or a rotisserie chicken. But a lot of times they do pizza and fried KFC in McDonald's, but they always have bags of chips and candy up there.
Huh.
Like, you gotta, and this always upsets me. And I always said, I go, you expect, guys, this is the day in the day and age of the wellness program, and Vince McMahon is a billionaire, right? Or he's really rich, and
sure.
Hunter, Stephanie, everybody has money, right? And I get it. They've worked very hard for that, and I get it. But we have all these performers who a lot of people's biggest gripe these days is they don't look the part, right?
Yeah.
They don't help the cause any by having fucking candy and chips out. Why don't you have bring Feed Me More Nutrition protein powder on the road for these guys? Not that, whatever the fuck protein Vince wants to get them. That Vince has for himself at TVs in the bottles, which has aspartame and sucralose, but apparently hasn't affected him just yet.
Oh man!
But go out of your way, and the Quest has some protein bars, and they make protein bars now with stevia in them. Give the guys some healthy options while they're on the road, and I always said that at TV. Why don't they have protein? Make this stuff available. We're athletes. Don't fucking have cakes and shit. Nobody wants to see that shit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't have good willpower. So at the very least of it, if you eliminate the cakes and the cookies and the chips those days, they're not there. You have only healthy options. For 2 days out of the week, they're going to fucking eat healthy and eat better than they would then if they're on their own. So that's one thing I would like to see them update on that end, and just try to cater more to that athlete mindset and performance mindset that you are what you eat, and not nobody needs to be eating cakes and fucking cookies on fucking work days.
Okay.
That's a lot of dudes get depressed when they're not booked on TV, by the way. And I'll never forget, they go in there and they eat all the cakes and cookies they could eat. Oh, I'm off tonight. I'm depressed. I'm gonna go pig out on fucking cereal, and Jesus Christ, fucking grow up. Seriously, I just fucking don't get it.
The times I've had catering, I've always been petrified because when you're a fucking extra, it's the most intimidating thing you
Really?
could ever possibly. Oh, sure. I mean, after a while, I got used to it, but then I could see like other guys being there. Like, I mean, I was fine with it because I was always around.
I better
developmental
not
people.
take 2 scoops of rice. The fucking Ryback might kill me.
But yeah, it's like I don't know. You just get really weird when you're an extra. I think things have gotten a little bit better, but I haven't been an extra in so long, and I don't think I ever would be again. But yeah. So the other question. Sorry, from AW CrossFit 1986: burpees before or after wrestling? After working out. Sorry.
After all the time.
Okay.
I like to be able to, that way you have your strength for your workout and that your strength doesn't affect your endurance. But if you blow yourself up, you're probably not going to be as strong before. So I'm all about, trying to recruit the most amount of muscle fibers possible.
All right. Those are the questions. Do you want to talk about this? We get a lot of workout stuff on here that I was like genuinely surprised. People really like to hear it. Some guy,
I think we
Sunil-
plugged the workout thing. I was going to give a beginner's workout program tonight too.
Yeah, and one guy I know heavily tweeted that he was looking forward to this because he feels very unmotivated. He came to Brooklyn actually, so he's a good friend of this show, good friend of WrestlePro, and he was looking forward to this greatly. So, what do you got? The beginner's guide to
working out.
working out.
And this is for people that have not been in the gym or maybe afraid to go to a gym. This isn't for people that are currently working out. I mean, it could be, I thought about this for a while this week, and I don't want to make it overly complicated. And you got to remember, you're dealing with. I understand working out. You understand working out, but this is for the person out there listening that is afraid to go and work out, that really, really wants to. And they don't want to necessarily, they don't have the money maybe to get a personal trainer, and that maybe they're afraid of going in and hurting themselves, or just any possible reason that they could come up with in their heads that but they know deep down they should. And so that's who this is for. And this is an absolute beginner's guide to working out, and just getting you in a gym for an hour, 1 hour every day, and getting you active, getting you to start physically moving and to start making some positive changes in your life. It is a 3-day-a-week routine. It's a full body introduction to working out. It's a 1 hour routine. So if you say you don't have enough time in your day, excuse me, and in whatever the time is to drive to the gym and drive back, whatever that time is, plus a 1 hour routine. So that is what we are looking at here. And it's very simple. Okay. And there's so I can't give specific exercises because every gym is different.
Yeah.
But what I can do is kind of give you an overview of each body part and give you the guidelines of the sets and the reps, and I'll explain that. And so for these workouts, essentially, mostly everything's going to be 3 sets, and it's going to be 10 to 12 repetitions. So by 3 sets, I mean you'll do it one time, 10 to 12 times. So one set for 10 to 12 reps, and you'll do that 3 times per body part. So
is there a time period in between, or you'll explain that?
Yeah, and for beginners, I want them to rest 60 to 90 seconds in between sets.
Okay.
And this is a very basic introduction. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to just get you into the gym and get you physically moving, getting your mind working. And I want you to select a weight when you do this. Everything is machine based for the most part, outside of a couple things. And I'll explain that. With the machines, they kind of lock your body into the proper positioning to begin with. I feel free weights are superior, and I like to do a majority of my lifts free weights. But like when you're injured or when you're just beginning, machines are very, very beneficial, and they can
to set the foundation.
Yeah,
kind of thing?
Just to kind of get to start a foundation and to get you a core and a base. It's just to get you into the gym and get some confidence, essentially, and to get you going. And we're going to elaborate more on other routines as we go along. But So for an example, for chest, in every day it's going to be 3 days a week, a full body work, like a circuit workout essentially, where chest.
Okay.
Any gym has a regular chest machine where it's a flat chest press. They have an incline chest press, and they all usually have some sort of pec deck where you grab and you can kind of do like a chest, just a pec squeeze essentially with a pec deck. For chest, 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps, flat, incline, and pec deck. 1 set each, 10 to 12 reps, and that's it. I want you to, this is for the person that has not worked out at all, just starting out. That's where you begin. And I want you to
at a comfortable weight?
Very
very
comfortable weight. Not challenging yourself on anything.
Yeah.
Just getting comfortable with the movement. Just going in there and feeling what it's like just to move a little bit of weight. And we'll grow from the beginning. We just need to kind of get a foundation and get you going to the gym. Next is back. 3 sets of back. Literally a back row machine, and anything you need to see you could find on YouTube if you're confused. But machines usually have an image of the workout right there on it, and it's kind of self-explanatory. 1 set, 10 to 12 reps on the back row. Usually they have some sort of lat pull down on the back.
Sure.
Again, something like that. And then again, usually for the final thing for back, I would usually say either do 2 sets of a row with 1 set of a lat pull down, or the final thing is a reverse pec deck. Again, a machine that you do for your chest, you could do by gripping it reverse and going just 1 set, 10 to 12 reps for your upper back. After that, shoulders, same thing. Shoulder press, 10 to 12 reps machine. They got a side lateral shoulder raise machine, 10 to 12 reps. And then after that, again, I would do that reverse pec deck again for your upper shoulders also for 10 to 12 reps on shoulders.
I think it's really important if people get confused by the movements, you can just literally type anything into YouTube and see the exact motion that will help you get through.
Yeah, and this is on the podcast, and a lot of this stuff I'm going to be getting on the website to help people and trying to do my best to give them an introduction just to working out. And if you've worked out before, you could skip over this part. This is for people that have not worked out, just trying to get them into the gym and get them active. Arms, again, 4 sets total for arms, 2 sets for biceps, 2 sets for triceps. A machine curl, 10 to 12 reps, and a machine, either a push down on a tricep push down or a tricep extension, 10 to 12 reps. Just get in there, get in the machine, and try to very lightweight and just get comfortable doing the movements. I promise you it will help you. Legs, same thing. For this, the bench squats are the most important thing on this. This is what it will teach you how to do a proper squat. You find a bench, a secured bench, where like a bench press machine, a free weight machine, and you put your feet shoulder width apart, and you put the back of your calves against the machine, against the bench, and you literally do a squat, and it teaches you to break your hips at the proper breaking point. You sit down on the bench and you do 10 to 12 reps. It will teach you how to do a proper squat to set you up later when we start doing some free weight squats. After that...
So you're just sitting down and just standing up, right?
Yep, but you keep your legs, the back of your calves against the bench, shoulder width or a little farther than shoulder width apart, and it will teach you how to break your hips and to sit back with your ass and to do a proper squat. And that is the way that you should do that to properly to lift maximal amount of weight. After that, leg extensions, 10 to 12 reps. Leg curls, 10 to 12 reps for 3 sets. Final thing, I want you to grab one of those Swiss balls, the big bouncy balls, and it's, again, you just lie back on it. You keep your feet either shoulder width apart, or you can move your feet a little closer together to make it a little more difficult, and you do 10 to 12 reps. 25 crunches total, as many sets as it takes you to get done. If you can only do 3 at a time, take a break. You do 3 more, you do 3 more, you do 3 more. 25 total, though, crunches on the Swiss ball just to get a little bit of your abs going, get your core activated, and then finish it up with 15 to 20 minutes on the elliptical or the cardio bike. Very simple cardio machines just to get the blood moving, get your heart rate up a little bit. And I want you to get that done in 1 hour, essentially, or right around an hour if you can. And it's
a full body workout, or it's body part by body part?
Full body workout.
Full body. So all the stuff you just said. Yeah.
3 days a week.
Perfect.
And I think they need to, it's a little bit of everything because muscles recover usually within 48 hours. And
sure.
I just want people getting to the gym and getting some confidence and just start going in there. This is a very basic route. And on the podcast, it's very hard to explain things in great detail. This is for somebody just to get in there. Just start moving weight. Start getting in there, and you're going to start triggering things in your mind to want to learn more. And you'll see other people in there doing something, and you're, oh, what are they doing? I want to do that next. And you'll go and YouTube it, and then you learn a new exercise. And that's how you learn. But just start going to the gym. You got a basic guideline, and we'll go from there. And you can start growing and just physically being more fit and more healthy. An hour a day is all you need to be more healthy. So just get your ass up, get into the gym, and make an effort.
All right, great. Nice program. Perfect.
Very basic, but it's just something to get people in there.
And if people are sore, that's a good sign, You're going to be sore.
You're going to be sore. If you've never lifted weights before and you're just starting out, your body might be sore. You just go in and you go and you do it all over again. And you do it all over again. And eventually it gets easier. And you just keep showing up. Keanu Reeves said in the movie Hardball to a group of a group of youth black kids that the most important thing in life is just showing up. So just show up to the fucking gym, guys. And get the shit done.
Excellent. On that note, we're approaching 2 hours. You got anything else?
I did want to ask you. I don't know if we want to get it. Maybe we'll save it for next week. How about that?
Okay, sure.
But we'll give who we think in WWE has been misused and who we would like to see being used better. Essentially,
should we do this now, or should we leave a little teaser?
I like a little teaser. Leave it for next week.
A little teaser.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours, so yeah, I think so. But so again, plugging. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No, this is your deal. Go ahead.
WrestlePro Online, March 11th. I'd love to see you guys. And I see you fucking New York listens. There's a lot of you guys. Come out to New Jersey. 4 stops on Penn Station. 1 minute walk. Come check us out. WrestleProOnline.com. And for all you fans, marks, supporters that are coming to WrestleMania Thursday night, March 30th. All of us will be there. And we want to see you at WrestleCon.com. Get your tickets. Reserve seating's flying. Well, it's not flying, but I need you guys to buy tickets. And you can follow me on all platforms. Buck Never Stops.
I am Ryback22 on Twitter, the big guy. Ryback22 on Instagram. Ryback247 on Snapchat. You can find me under Ryback Reeves on my Instagram. I'm Facebook, my official page. And that does it for me, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's keep this growing bigger and bigger each and every week. You have just listened to another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy.